Hey everyone, my name is Lexi and this is a Sincerely Self podcast. Sorry to bring up the Instagram again, but if you don't happen to follow the Instagram, I posted that this episode is going to be on a Saturday, but it's okay. This episode is actually being posted the day before my birthday. My birthday is February 4th. Super fun. It is a national holiday. I'm just kidding. I think next week's episode is going to be with a guest, so we've got some things to look forward to. I've been trying to think of the goals that I want to set for February in specific, but also just for this upcoming year. I have a lot of goals specifically for this month that I want to accomplish, and there's a lot that I really want to accomplish with the podcast. I really want to get a lot more consistent with posting. I'm going to be posting a lot more on YouTube, maybe more than just the episode. I don't know, I'm trying to decide. I also am going to be posting a lot more on the Instagram, posting clips from the YouTube, that kind of thing. The podcast has been doing good, but I've kind of checked myself and been like, all right, if I actually want this to be more successful, I need to actually be more invested. And I've been kind of treating it as, I very much enjoy doing it, but I noticed that I've kind of been treating it as a hassle more than an opportunity. And I love doing this, so I need to treat it like something I love to do and prioritize it. So that's my goal for February. With that being said, we're entering the month of love, right? Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays for sure. I just love love. I still think it's a fun time for self-love as well, and appreciating just who you are as a person and treating yourself even if you don't have a Valentine. It also happens to be the season of breakups, or the season of heartbreak. I don't know what it is. The end of January to like middle of February, I feel like, is breakup season. Not for me though. Not for me though. I crossed my fingers when I said that, okay? With that, I thought no better time than to do our heartbreak episode. I have been planning this one, I'd say probably since the September or August time when I was first starting Sincerely Self. This was one episode that I particularly wanted to do because I feel like breakups and heartbreak can boost you into growing into your best version of yourself, and for me that's what happened. And these are all the things pretty much that I wish someone would have told me when I was first going through my heartbreak. And I want to start this off by saying, you will heal. The pain does not last forever. And you will move on. And you will find someone who is more compatible for you. And be okay and be patient just in the knowledge of that. Because to be honest, not to talk about my relationship while I'm doing a breakup episode, but being with my boyfriend now really solidified for me that I wanted to do this episode, because him and I are just so compatible. And I see him and I see the way that he treats me and I see the way that our relationship goes. I just see the version of myself that I'm able to be in this relationship, and just kind of I had to go through those heartbreaks to learn what I liked in a relationship, to learn the qualities that I wanted in a significant other, to learn how I needed to show up in a relationship and the things that I needed to heal. And heartbreak brings that all to the surface, right? So once I identified all those, which we'll get into it, but once I was able to do that, now being able to be in a healthy relationship, having had those negative experiences in love, I would not change it for the world. Genuinely, heartbreak builds you into the person you need to be for your healthy relationship that you want to have. And the person that I am now, I had to experience those things to boost me into this version of me who is able to have this type of relationship with someone. So it doesn't last forever. The pain doesn't last forever. Also, breakup glow-ups as well. You're about to enter your glow-up season. I hate to say it. Actually, I love to say it. You're about to enter your glow-up season. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. You're about to glow up in every single aspect of your life. If you follow this boot camp, of course. But either way, you're about to be glowing, so feel excited. You're entering a new chapter of your life. As scary and painful as it may be, change always comes with some unease, and loss is never comfortable. Loss is always painful, but everything has to be replaced for something better. So if something leaves your life, it just means that something better is on the way. Okay, let's get right into this heartbreak boot camp. I hope you guys are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, 2024, we are healing from our heartbreaks. And let me tell you why. There are too many people in this day and age who are jumping from relationship to relationship and they're not healing. And they're bringing that baggage into the next relationship, and hurt people hurt people. So this is a constant cycle of everyone being jaded to relationships because no one is healing and no one is willing to accept responsibility for negative ways that they have contributed to a relationship or to hurting someone's feelings. 2024, it is in to heal after your breakups and have some alone time, okay? It's all right. I think the first and most important thing that no one really told me when I was going through my heartbreak is that you have to be willing to see it from a new perspective. You have to be willing to take the rose-colored lenses off and see this person and see this relationship for what it really is. Sometimes, genuinely, we fall in love with people's potential or what we thought they could be or who we thought they were. So be willing to look at it from a different perspective. Look at the other person from an outside perspective. Look at you from an outside perspective. How have you been negatively showing up in that relationship to cause for its downfall? You have to be able to look at things that transpired in the relationship for what it really was and look at yourself and be like, well, how did I negatively contribute to this relationship? How did I positively contribute to the relationship? And get to the bottom of, okay, well, obviously this ended. You know what I mean? It ended for a reason. And specifically, if it ended because someone disrespected you, cheated on you, lied to you, whatever, I feel like this is kind of a popular opinion, but some people may not agree with me. If someone cheats on you, they don't have that respect for you, genuinely. And they are not worthy of being in your energy if they're not going to appreciate it. So if you break up because of cheating or lying, do not take them back. That is the worst thing you can do. From experience, that is the worst thing that you could possibly do. And like I said, some people are not going to agree with me on this, and that's completely fine. Maybe you've had a healthy experience with that, but in my personal opinion, if you really love someone, you could never do that. End of story. Or if you really care about someone, you would never disrespect them like that. And why would you want to be in a relationship with someone who would do that to you? That's all. I really wanted to get that out of the way here. Because when you're going through a heartbreak, it's really easy to want to be back with them, no matter what they did to you, if you care about them. And recognize your worth. Not everyone is deserving of having you back. On the flip side, if you did something negative in the relationship, or you were the one who cheated, whatever, take a step back and take some time alone. I think alone time anyways after a relationship is healthy and needed, and we'll get into that. I want to talk a lot about that. But if you are doing those type of things, genuinely your mentality is not mature enough to be in a relationship with someone, and it's very selfish to do those type of things to another human being. Like, that's someone else's emotions that are very heavily influenced and affected by those type of decisions. And if you feel like you cannot restrain yourself from making those type of decisions, you are not mature enough to be in a relationship, and you need to be alone for a little bit and heal. And I wish you the best with that. And healing is possible if you're dedicated enough. So, get real with yourself on all of those things very, very first. Like, don't play into the fantasy of what if, or only remembering the best parts of the relationship. Another thing my therapist told me when I was going through my heartbreak was, because I had a really bad habit of going back and only looking at the good things in the relationship and being like, well, why did it end, And it's our instinct almost to go back and do that most of the time. So write down the negative things that happened in the relationship. Write down the things that you didn't feel like aligned with your values. Write down if you felt like you were able to grow as an individual in that relationship. Write down if you felt appreciated in that relationship. Write down if you felt like you could grow into your highest version of yourself with that person. Brutal honesty, okay? And anytime you are stuck in those fantasies of wanting to be back with this person, look at that. And remind yourself that things end for a reason. And everything has to be replaced with something, right? So something better will always come along, or something that's more fitting for you. I think a really bad thought process that kind of gets thrown into heartbreaks is the jealousy aspect, or, oh, you'll never find anyone better than me, you'll never find someone who can treat you better than me. And obviously, like, that's what we want to think, right? But the best mindset to have that is actually going to help you heal and find closure with this is that they're not going to find someone better than you, but they will find someone who is better fitted for them, whatever that means, And you will also find someone better fitted for you, So try and find closure in knowing that they're not going to find another you that's true, but they are going to find someone who fits them better, and that leaves space for you to find someone who fits you better as well. Also, take the time to mourn, because your body is going to go through the reaction as if you are experiencing a loss, like as if someone has passed away, because for you they are dead to you. They are not in your life anymore, or they should not be. If you've broken up, go no contact, okay? Take that time to mourn the relationship, mourn the person that you thought they were, whatever. Go through that mourning process, and like I said, find closure in knowing that every ending just means a new beginning, and you will always be aligned with where you're supposed to go as long as you're trusting your gut. So whatever happens is supposed to happen, and just genuinely find closure in that. Okay, now we're going to talk about taking alone time. Like I said, I wanted to really, really touch on this earlier, and so let's really get into it, because this might make some people feel a little bit upset. And if that's the case scenario, that is okay. You don't have to agree with me, you know what I mean? But this is my opinion, and it's sincerely self. This is my podcast, so just hear me out. If you're jumping from relationship to relationship, like I said earlier, you are not taking any time to heal, and you are using other people to fill a void. If you are constantly needing someone else to feel whole, to feel validated, to feel satisfaction in life, then you need to address a deeper issue. You need to address that you have some self-esteem things that need to be fixed before you can move on to someone else. I think anytime after a heartbreak, or anytime after a relationship ending or a dating ending, whatever it may be, take time to be alone. Not talking to anyone, not texting anyone, not going on dates. Just take some alone time, and take as long as you may need. I think minimum 2 or 3 weeks. Find closure with that past relationship before you move on to a new one. Do not bring that baggage in, because that is the worst thing you can do. I'm sure we've all had experiences with someone who was not over their ex or had just not healed from that, and so their ex comes up a lot, that kind of thing. You don't want to be that person, okay? And no one deserves to be hurt by something like that. So take the time to heal and take the time to grow as a person. Grow comfortable to be by yourself. That's when the right person will come along. As soon as you are so comfortable being alone, that's when you are going to meet the person that is compatible with you. That's when you're going to meet the person who can help you grow into the best version of yourself, because they also have that mentality. Everybody is you pushed out. If you have these traits that you want to attract in a partner, then you will draw in that type of person. But for you to go around and say, oh, I want a guy who does this, and I want a guy who makes this much money, and I want a guy who treats me like this, but you're not willing to address your deep-rooted issues and be able to healthily show up in a relationship so you can be the person that he deserves, then you're never going to successfully experience that, and it's always going to end up being toxic. If you want to be able to have healthy relationships with people, including yourself, you have to be willing to take the time alone to heal from a heartbreak. Another kind of mindset thing that helped me getting over my heartbreak was, you don't want to be with anyone who does not want to 100% be with you, or you don't want to be with someone who you don't feel like you can grow as a person with. If you don't feel like they are genuinely benefiting to your life and they are stressing you out more than they're making you feel happy, they're not the person for you. And when you meet that person who can treat you the way you want to be treated, it will solidify that for you. Take this time after your heartbreak. Be kind with yourself, and don't determine your worth off of what this other person may think of you, or if they didn't want you. Your worth is never defined off of another person, and you found happiness before them. In some aspects of your life, you found happiness before them, and you will find happiness after them. I know it's really, really hard to feel comfortable and feel okay when your comfort person is gone or anything like that, but there's always a brighter side, and it'll all work out in the end. But I know it's really hard and it is really painful. But lean on the people you're close with, journal. Also, make a list of the traits that you do want a future partner to have. Make a list of the characteristics. Make a list of the hobbies that they have. Make a list of the way make a list of the ways that you want them to treat you. And stay grounded in that when you start the dating process again. Now you have a blueprint of what you're looking for. And you can pick through so much easier when you're like, oh, well, and I mean like characteristic wise, okay? Don't be like, oh, well, he's under 6 foot. Do you know what I mean? You want someone who is hardworking, they're goal driven, someone who's funny, someone who is good with kids, those kind of things. If you find someone who is not compatible with too many of those characteristics that you want, then you know, oh, like, we're just not gonna work out. Like, doesn't mean they're a bad person at all, but it just means they're not your person. They're not the person that you're compatible with. And it just means that they're more compatible with someone else just like you are. And it'll be okay. Because you've gone through the healing, right? You're more comfortable being by yourself. And your validation is rooted from you. I want to end this episode with saying that my DMs are always open, or if you have my number, you can always text me. You got my Snapchat, you can always Snapchat me. If you are struggling with heartbreak, I'm always here to talk about it. Or if you're struggling with anything, genuinely, like, I feel the most fulfilled when I can help other people. And if there's anything that I can say to help you, I would love nothing more. So literally, just let me know anytime. My Instagram is always linked in the description of the podcast. And same with my TikTok, all those fun things. So you have lots of ways that you can contact me if you wanna. If you guys like this episode and you are watching it on YouTube, first off, hey, please like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind, and comment if you've experienced a heartbreak, your worst heartbreak experience, or your best advice yourself for getting over a heartbreak, because I think we all find different ways to heal, and maybe we can all help each other heal. So yeah, comment your best advice for getting over a heartbreak. If you are listening to this podcast, let me know what you thought. You can leave a little review. Also, please leave the podcast 5 stars. Please leave it 5 stars. And let me know that you liked this episode. Also share it. If you know someone who's going through heartbreak, send them this episode. I don't know, could be kind of nice. You're like, I don't really know what to tell you, but here's this. Here's this bootcamp. Breakup bootcamp. Heartbreak bootcamp. I got you. They'll appreciate it, I'm sure. And I will see you guys next week.